Hey, it's me again. Isn't that a little sooner than usual? Well, anyway, I'm taking a break from my normal upload schedule, which is like, what, once every 4 months or something, to make this response video a kind of open letter to a YouTuber whose content I genuinely enjoy.
We're all gonna die!
Hbomberguy, or Hbomberguy. I don't know which one he prefers, actually. I try to keep this short, sweet, nothing with like fancy edits or anything. I try to get straight to the point. So think of this as just an open letter.
What I'm saying is, it should be at least slightly more complicated than this. And the fact the story is written so that these characters are just evil is a massive flaw. It's like in The Dark Knight Rises. Bane basically has a point. Gotham is corrupt and the people are oppressed by a system that seeks to profit from them and find new ways to spy on and criminalize them if they resist. The Occupy Wall Street movement had a lot to say, and a lot of it was true.
It's a stock exchange. There's no money you can steal.
Really? And why are you people here?
But if you put that in your film, that means something's deeply wrong with your actual society. So Bane also wants to kill everyone with a nuke. So now when Batman beats the shit out of him and everyone who stands in his way, it's not because Batman is a tool of a corrupt establishment. It's because he's heroically stopping this definitely bad guy from killing everyone. The moral complexity of the story exists purely to sound cool and get thrown away before it gets anyone to think about the actual problems with our world. The Dark Knight Rises is complete bollocks, because a villain who might have a point is consciously rewritten into a bad man in a mask with a big bomb who Batman needs to punch to win. Yay, the good guys hitting the bad guy. Don't think about Wall Street.
This is a minor clip from his 2-hour-long film, Why Ruby Sucks, and I agreed with 99% of the points that he made. I don't really watch Ruby consistently. I think I watched the first season, and ultimately I just gave up on the series. But this one clip in particular, which is just a comparison, and by all means, watch the whole video. I'm not trying to take anything out of context here. He uses the Dark Knight as just a comparison to one of his points, but I think the comparison doesn't work because he's wrong. In my opinion, at least. I want to make that clear. It's just my opinion. You can disagree. He makes this argument that Bane was just written to be a bad guy, and that at the end he just has a bomb because the writers wanted Batman to beat up a random guy because he's evil for the sake of being evil. I don't think this is a fair argument, and I am here to defend The Dark Knight Rises because I believe it's one of the best conclusions to any trilogy to date. Movie-wise, at least. I'm not sure about, books or anything. Bane and Batman are very similar. I believe that Bomberman tends to agree with Bane's philosophy, but yet rejects the idea when he wants to blow up the city because his philosophy relates to acts of terror. If you haven't seen The Dark Knight Rises, I highly suggest it, and if you haven't, what the fuck are you doing? Watching this crappy-ass video, go watch The Dark Knight Rises. That's an infinitely better thing. But Batman and Bane are very similar. They believe that the system is corrupt, and Bomberman tends to agree with Bane's philosophy that there is a system in place that is corrupt. Not entirely, but there are many aspects to it that are flawed, which, yeah, I guess I can kind of agree with that. The difference between Batman and Bane, though, is their methods. Much like every hero and antagonist, there's a duality to them. Bane thinks the entire system is corrupt, and he is only motivated by vengeance and anger, resentment, pure hatred for his whole entire clan being killed by Batman.
And you betrayed us.
Yes, you were excommunicated by a gang of psychopaths.
And he wants to finish the job that Ra's al Ghul, the antagonist in the first film, started. You see, Ra's al Ghul believed that criminals should be killed. They should not be forgiven or given a second chance. Batman disagrees with this, saying that murder should not be the be-all, end-all, that once you become a murderer, you become part of the flawed system. Fair enough. You can make your own conclusion to what that means, even though Batman just kind of, lets him die. But ultimately, I think that whole entire moment is important because the thing that kills him isn't Batman. It's the faults to his own organization.
But I don't have to save you.
being a terrorist group only leads to more terror, destruction, violence, and death, which is what ultimately kills Ra's al Ghul, his own plan. A beautiful way to end the first film. Now, The Dark Knight Rises has a different philosophy on this. Instead of having a kind of mentor and student relationship between Ra's al Ghul and Batman, they instead have a different approach. Bane is much stronger than Batman. Bane is also smarter than Batman. He outsmarts him in a lot of his master plans and completely neutralizes him as a threat in about halfway through the film. In fact, towards the half point of the film, Batman has to realize that, in a sense, he's wrong. He's motivated by the same factors that Bane is: anger and resentment.
I'm not afraid. I'm angry.
And he wants to get his city back out of pure revenge. Bane also believed this. He is angry towards society. He hates the faults in society, and he believes that it is fundamentally corrupt and wants to burn it to the ground, which I think this philosophy makes perfect sense. I'm not saying it's justified, but if you believe an entire society or entire system is corrupt, why wouldn't you come to the same conclusion that Bane does? And that's the one part I don't get with what Bomberman is trying to say. He's trying to say that the writers made a character that is right in their philosophy, but yet hates it when they act on their philosophy. It's quite bizarre. See, it's a funny nod because this video is coming out just right before the JoJo video. There's a whole entire motif in The Dark Knight Rises, which is the climb. Batman cannot make the climb at first. In fact, he is broken and beaten and recovers rather quickly because, you know, he's Batman. He trains his body and he trains his mind to just be filled with nothing but resentment and anger, much like the same that Bane felt. But, an important note, he doesn't make the climb. Filled by nothing but rage towards Bane, he cannot make the climb. Why is that? Well, I mean, if you watch the film, you would know. Batman does not fear. He, in fact, is sacrificial. He wants to die. That is the whole entire point of The Dark Knight Rises.
I know what this means.
What does it mean?
It means your hatred, and it also means losing someone that I have cared for since I first heard his cries echo through this house. But it might also mean saving your life. And that is more important.
Goodbye, Alfred.
This man is severely depressed because he's lost a lot of his oomph and motivation from the beginning. He lost a lot of loved ones and had to make a lot of sacrifices to become Batman. However, he needs to learn to fear. He needs to learn what it is to be vulnerable, to face the task at hand. Instead of seeing Bane as this other man, he has to realize what Bane represents.
You do not fear death. You think this makes you strong. It makes you weak.
Why?
How can you move faster than possible, fight longer than possible, without the most powerful impulse of the spirit? The fear of death.
Evil is always going to be there, and Batman may not always get the upper hand, which in this scenario he didn't, and he needs to face the reality that death is scary, that his city may die. Both Bane and Batman believe that society is corrupt, but their methods vary greatly. Batman believes that men should strive to become better than oneself, to face one's own fear, so that society won't become any more corrupt. He doesn't believe in burning it to the ground and starting anew, because he believes that it's everybody's responsibility, at least the good people still out there, to face the challenge at hand with no fear. Another reason why Batman doesn't kill is because he believes what's stopping him from just killing everybody. Then he's no longer a symbol of justice. He's just another vigilante. Bane, on the other hand, does not want to inspire people in the same manner that Batman does. If they can enact his plan, they're all the more useful. And his plan is this: burn society to ashes and start anew. Like I said before, this philosophy makes sense. Because if you believe an entire system is corrupt, why wouldn't you come to the same conclusion? Bomberman seems to think that he is in the right.
Bane basically has a point. Gotham is corrupt and the people are oppressed by a system that seeks to profit from them and find new ways to spy on and criminalize them if they resist.
Which I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't know if we even watched the same movie, because these ideals are explored in this film. That's a bad philosophy and ideal to have. That's what the movie is trying to convey. It isn't trying to say that society is perfect. It isn't trying to say that the world isn't flawed. It's trying to say that the world is flawed. So we need people like Batman to keep it stable, because there's always going to be evil. Hell, there's 10 billion Batman villains, but yet there's only one Batman. Again, this is not a hate video or anything. I love Bomberman's contents. While I do disagree with a few things that he says in his videos, 99% of them are just fucking fantastic. They're edited very well. I give nothing but compliments to this guy. And this guy has very, very good content. He goes on like full documentary mode on every single one of his videos, and it's very admirable to see the amount of hard work he puts to each video. I think that's all I wanted to say, right? Fuck, I recorded a lot. Hopefully I can edit this down to like 5 minutes. If it isn't 5 minutes, sorry. But yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, bye-bye.